I've said it a million times and I'll say it again, the glazing of Final Fantasy VII continues. Square Enix finally gave the rights to Astrobot to use some of their characters, and on this, like, the week of Final Fantasy IX's anniversary, we are able to get Cloud and Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII in Astrobot. Like, I've been called a Final Fantasy VII hater before, and back maybe in high school, back in like the early 2000s, I would agree. But nowadays, it's just painful, man, to see all these great entries in the Final Fantasy series just constantly overlooked for one game that came out back in 1997 that is like not a bad game by any means. Final Fantasy VII is a great game. It's not the be-all, end-all of the franchise. There's tons of games that I would consider to be quite a bit better than Final Fantasy VII, and just tons of games in general that I would find to be better JRPGs. And yes, Final Fantasy VII is responsible for JRPGs really taking off on the PS1. I feel like compared to games like Breath of Fire 3 and games like Guardians Crusade, man, I'm gonna get hate for putting Breath of Fire 3 in the same category as Guardians Crusade. I definitely like Breath of Fire 3 more than Guardians Crusade, just for the record. Final Fantasy VII's leagues better than games like that, in my opinion. Now, you can like what you like, you can love what you love, and that's fine, but you can't deny that Square Enix has been milking Final Fantasy VII, like, forever. It's been, like, decades now. Final Fantasy VII is basically its own series, its own franchise now, love it or hate it, and I think even, like, original Final Fantasy VII fans would argue that the sequels and the prequels and the remakes of Final Fantasy VII just aren't that great, man. It's so frustrating to see games that I love, like Final Fantasy IV and Final Fantasy IX, Final Fantasy V, even Final Fantasy X being overlooked all these years, for Square Enix to constantly glaze a single game in their library and only really market that game as well, and then wonder why other games in their repertoire are not selling as well as Final Fantasy games. And then they kind of blew the remake, in my opinion, and in a lot of even original Final Fantasy VII fans' opinions, and continue to just push Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VII. It's just sickening at this point. I get it if you're a Final Fantasy VII fan, but even Final Fantasy VII fans at this point have to be sick of it. Like, give us something fresh, give us something new, at least show some love to some of the other games in your franchise, like, I don't know, the one that just had a 25th anniversary this past week. Anyways, you can now get Cloud, Strife, and Sephiroth amongst some other Square Enix characters now that they've added the Vicious Void Galaxy DLC to Astrobot. I'm pretty sure it's free. All of the Astrobot DLC to this point has been free as far as I know. I played the crap out of Astrobot. I haven't really done any of the post-game bonus stuff. But yeah, the characters look good. You get like, you can get Omni Slash if you hit Cloud enough to build up his limit break. Like, it's kind of cool what you can do with these guys, but it's just so frustrating, man, as a Final Fantasy fan since like 1998. And this is kind of what turns us fans of like the other Final Fantasy games against Final Fantasy VII, because this is just constantly happening all the time. Anyways, this is my rant. If you like Final Fantasy VII, be sure to get these bots if you played Astrobot. I mean, all the bots in this game are so well done. If they ever do a sequel to Astrobot, I would love to have some of these or all of these bots be playable. That'd be freaking amazing. But anyways, thanks for watching. If you enjoy JRPG videos, top 10 videos, reviews, and podcasts, please remember to like, subscribe, turn notifications to all so you don't miss the next video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.